dooba dooba.
We should have looked in the mirror, before starting this. Guys, I'm not going to lie to you. It's about 8 a.m. I've just woken up. I have a dentist appointment today, so I'm trying to get this done before my dentist appointment. The sun's going to piss me off, isn't it? I wish the sun would just go in for 1 fucking second. That's even worse. Oh, this is taking the piss. Hello. Just forewarning you, this fucking background is probably going to change lighting throughout this video because I've tried to do something warm and cozy, but the sun is not cooperating, okay? So this is why we've got this weird angle, right? But today we are talking tattoos. Now, I've been meaning to do a tattoo tour for a very long time because a bunch of you have asked for it. Seems like a pretty easy video to accomplish, doesn't it? But just haven't got around to it. So basically today I've got 17 tattoos, most of which, I'd say 15 of which, I got in just over a year. A lot, I know. I'm trying to calm down a little bit. Basically today I'm just going to take you through each of my tattoos, hopefully in chronological order, but I can't quite remember which ones I got when. And I'm going to tell you meanings and whatever, and like the design process and whatnot, because for the most part I do design my own tattoos. Obviously, unless it's something like based on a character or a painting or whatever, but I'll tell you when we get there. So I guess let's just crack on in. I'm wearing a vest so you can see the majority of them, but I'm sure I'll be shooting some B-roll. I guess let me know your favourite of my tattoos in the comments. Oh, and guys, there's actually one that I regret, so we'll get there. So first and foremost, let's start with the first tattoo I ever got, which was these two little butterflies here, as you can see. And the reason why I started with this one was I wanted something meaningful, pretty, and kind of something timeless, and I don't feel myself ever really going off butterflies, you know? It wasn't like a bold choice in terms of design. So yeah, it was a very easy one. Basically, the story behind it, my mum has got I think five butterflies, I think. 3 on the upper thigh, 2 on the ankle, I believe. My mum's got 5 butterfly tattoos on her legs, and they're really beautiful, and hers are in colour. The reason why I got 2 specifically is one's for my mum, and one's for my great-gran, who obviously has now passed. Because whenever my great-gran would see my mum's tattoos, she always just assumed that they were tights. I don't know why. I don't know if my great-gran was against tattoos, so my mum and obviously everyone else never told her that she got tattoos or what, but it was kind of like a running joke that my great-gran always thought my mum's butterfly tattoos were tights. So I got 2. My mum added to the meaning of this one, which maybe is a bit morbid, but my mum was like, the bottom one is her, and the top one is my great-gran, because it's like flying up to heaven. That's what my mum said. So yeah, bit morbid, but that's the story behind that one, and that's the reason why I decided to get that one first. Nothing too crazy, nothing too deep, but it has a nice meaning that I'm never gonna go off that. What was the fucking next one? This is the thing, guys. It's gonna be a right trial and error trying to figure out the next one. I feel like the next one was my Grandma Pat tattoo. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see it, but I'll obviously do some B-roll. Basically, I wanted to get my grandma's name, my grandma that's still alive, because she is essentially my favourite human being alive, right? I am obsessed with my grandma. Also, if you're seeing any blotches and stuff, I have psoriasis, and yeah, I can't do anything about that. So that's what you're seeing, and I apologise. My grandma writes her name the exact same way in every birthday card, Christmas card, whatever. And that's also kind of a running joke that we always say from Pat, because she just puts GR for grandma. So I thought it'd be really cool to basically take one of my Christmas cards or whatever that she's given me, trace the handwriting, and then get that tattooed. And that's what that is. And it honestly might be one of my favorites. I think I just like the handwriting. I like the placement. And I love my grandma. So yeah, I wanted to get a tattoo for her while she was still alive, so she could fucking see it. And she loves it. She loves it. I've got one. Next, I think, is my side tattoo. Now, if you guys have seen my living room in my kitchen before, you'll see that I've got a painting of some eyes that I did. This is not a new concept by any means. I'm pretty sure you'll be able to find similar on Pinterest. But I did a painting of my kind of take on the like dripping eye, flowing eye thing. And I've loved that painting. It's probably my favourite painting I've ever done. So I did want to get it tattooed, and it is on my ribs. Now, this one's one I'll have to put some B-roll in because I'm not going to stand there with my t-shirt up this whole time. This is one that I actually regret getting. Plot twist, I do in fact regret getting this one. And it's not because of the actual tattoo or the way the tattoo's been done. The only reason why I regret it is purely because of placement. I wish that I'd done it on a different part of the body. I almost think on an arm would have been better. Just because, obviously, like, your body changes a lot, and like, I have, like, when you move, obviously the tattoo moves, and I'm really funny about that in general. Like, whenever I get a tattoo, I like to think about how my body's gonna move and how it's gonna look in each stage, and I try and make good choices in terms of that. Whenever I'm relaxed, I find that the top eyeball kind of gets squashed a little bit under my breast. But the tattoo is done really well. I actually would like some more adding to this one maybe. But yeah, I will say this one took about 4 hours and I didn't take any breaks. And my tattoo artist said that I was her best client when it comes to rib tattoos because I didn't flinch once, which is very impressive. If you've had a rib tattoo, you know the pain, okay? And I didn't flinch once, just saying. So I do hold the medal for that when it comes to my tattoo artist. So yeah, the tattoo is done very well. I do really like it. I just almost wish maybe it was a little bit smaller or was like a little bit further down. If I was gonna have it on my ribs, I wish it was a tiny bit further down. But I was also pretty conscious of like it not hitting my love handle because then it really would have gone all weird. So I don't know. Placement wise, I regret it. Tattoo wise, obviously don't. It's my own artwork, of course I don't, right? The next one was a clock that I got on my leg, I'm pretty sure. I'm not sure of the order, but we'll go with it. So basically, I've got a clock. It was loosely inspired by the dripping clocks by Salvador Dali, very loosely. So essentially, the time on the clock was my birth time. Now, this also might sound a bit morbid, but for me, it's more of like a reminder just to like live life as much as possible, and like, you never know essentially when your time's gonna be up, right? Like I said, bit morbid, but it is what it is. There's not much to it. It's just like the clock is deteriorating and melting because obviously time is constantly moving, and like as soon as you've been born, like time doesn't stop then, you know? So that was that one. I don't know. Next I think was my koi fish. Now, initially, when I started getting tattoos, I wanted this arm to be very sentimental, family things, and like things that had a bunch of meaning. And then this arm was things that like didn't have so much meaning, was more artistic and just for me, and like things that I enjoy. That's kind of gone out of the window now, right? But the intention was still there. So the koi fish was actually for my dad because he's a fisherman, has been a fisherman for a long time. I used to actually go fishing with him. Never really enjoyed it, but I kind of went for like a bonding thing, you know? So basically, around the same time, my dad decided that he wanted to get his koi fish. But obviously my dad is like a masculine straight man. So he obviously got like, you know, your typical big Japanese koi fish. Whereas I was like, well, I don't really want to do that. Like I don't want a half sleeve full of just a koi fish. So I got a little delicate koi fish that I once again designed. And I love it. I think it's really gorgeous. I have had some people say it looks like an aeroplane from far away. So yeah, I guess there is that. But I love it. I will say it was very painful though. One of the most painful ones I've had, and I think it's because some of the lines were really thin. So it felt like she was stabbing me, which I guess she was. Next, I feel like we've got to move on to this arm. Okay, so you'll see on my inner arm here, I have a wing, and essentially it does kind of give insect wing, right? I'm very well aware. To me, in my brain, this one kind of resembled a fairy wing. Like, if a fairy was real, it's kind of what I imagine a fairy wing would give, right? A single one that's been plucked, okay? Because, now once again, this might be a bit deep. When I was young, and obviously in school and people in my family and stuff, not my immediate family, but like my more extended family, I used to get called fairy a lot. And it wasn't in like a cute way, it was like a derogatory way. But like growing up, I've now kind of like accepted it and almost reclaimed it, and I actually kind of like it. So this was basically me just kind of like giving it a nice meaning and a twist to it, when realistically it was used against me for a lot of my life in a way of like trying to make me feel inferior and obviously ashamed of being more flamboyant and whatever else. Once again, I designed it. Let's move on to... what was it? My heart tattoo? I think it was my little heart tattoo. So in the middle of my chest here, I'm not sure if I was able to show you. Can you see that? Once again, I'm sorry if you can see some discoloration. Psoriasis is kicking my ass. But I've basically got a little love heart. Now, this is not one that I designed. This is one that you'll be able to find on Pinterest. It's a pretty common one. I just really liked it, and essentially you won't be able to see from far away, but if you get closer, the love heart is actually made up of dots, and the dots kind of like disperse. And I originally got this and it didn't have as many dots, but then I went back and decided that I wanted more dots added to it, and it definitely looks so much better now that the dots have been added to it. That one doesn't have a meaning, I just thought it was cute, so I got it. Next we'll do my forearm on this side. Now this was kind of around a time where I was wanting to do just something very creative, didn't necessarily need it to have a meaning or anything, and it had been a while since I'd drawn and drew something that I was just passionate about and I liked drawing. And I was speaking to my friend about it, and he was like, well, you love drawing like women with big eyeliner, a strong jaw, you know, like I love a badass woman, always have done, and I've always loved drawing women. So this was just kind of like something that came out, and I sketched it in my sketchbook and then obviously changed it into a digital thing so I could get it tattooed. And yeah, she kind of resembles one of my favorite paintings that I've ever done, which I called her Celia. So I do call her Celia. I just think she's really, really fun. She's probably one of my favorites, and I probably look at her the most out of them all, just because I think the placement's really cool, the sizing's really cool. I personally really like the artwork. A lot of my later tattoos as well were made up of the dotty technique, which I fucking love. Like the dotty shading is much more my vibe, so you'll notice a lot of them have the same kind of shading, just because I think it looks the nicest on my body. So yeah, so that's Celia. She's really delicious, and she's got cool eyebrows that go off of her head. She's got cool eyes with winged liner and such, and a nice bold lip. I just live. She's definitely my favorite, I think, potentially. Then I'm pretty sure it was this like bicep one. This was basically a painting that I did years ago, and it was kind of this like negative space accentuating the shadows of the naked male physique, right? I love drawing nudes. You might know this by now. If you don't, there you go. I like drawing nudes. I like life drawing, that kind of thing. So I really loved that painting, and I've loved it for a long time, but the painting started to get battered and stuff, because obviously I've moved from place to place. I'm pretty sure I originally made it in like third year of uni. So that was like 2018. So it's been 6 years. So I got it tattooed, and I think it's really cool, because I also think at first glance you can't really tell what it is, and that's almost a plus for me. But yeah, love him. He's also one of my favorites, to be honest. Let's move on to this arm. We've got quite a few on this arm now. Next, we'll do this eye. Now, there's a few on this arm that are basically just like either taken straight from like a painting as a reference, and I've just like redrawn it, or a character from a show, that kind of thing, right? Hence why they're on this arm. So the first one, I guess, is this eye. Now, this is the eye that, do you know the eye painting that's like crying? You've probably seen it on Pinterest and stuff like that. I just redrew it. It doesn't really have a meaning, but I'm pretty sure it's Lucifer. Like before he became Lucifer, I think. I don't know. I think it is though. Essentially, it's just a crying eye. I'm also a massive fan of eyes. Like, if I could get a bunch of eyes all over my body, I probably would, just because I think the artistry of the eye is beautiful. I got this high here for my career and for you guys and for the YouTube channel. Because if you didn't know, obviously on my main channel, my like shtick, I guess, and my branding is mostly high, which is kind of wild. What a generic word. I could have picked something more exciting, I guess. I decided to get it tattooed, which is kind of fitting considering now the high sign that I mimicked the shape of this off is now in the bin. So she's forever immortalized on my skin. Next, we'll go behind the arm. Now, I've got this one. Now, you guys probably really won't be able to tell what this one is because a lot of people can't. But once again, it's very much just the male physique. It's basically like this, the tit, and like it goes down the side, and it's like this. And like once again, the arm's kind of up here. The face is kind of this way, so there's like a jawline. And there's like a nipple. I don't know. It's a hard one to see, but I can see it because obviously I designed it. But I just fancied something very simple, one-line vibes. So that's a sleigh. What order did we go in here? Ooh. See, I've got my records there. That's basically just for my love of music. I love music, always have done. So I decided to get two hands with a vinyl, because I love my vinyl player too, and I love collecting vinyls. So that one's pretty box standard, not really got much of a meaning. I got the tattoo, like the biggest tattoo on my arm, which is Icarus, which I'm sure you've all seen many a times. This is a tattoo that a lot of people have. I did redraw it, and I did also put this circle here as if it was the sun, because if you didn't know, Icarus essentially flew too close to the sun, so the wings melted, he fell, died. That's that, right? And to me, it kind of just resembles kind of like keeping yourself grounded, you know, and that whole thing. Like, I'm not going to go into it in detail, like it's not that deep, but I think it's just kind of like keep yourself in check, don't fly too close to the sun, you know, that kind of thing. So yeah, love him. Last couple, I guess, because I think I've done them all. I don't fucking know. We've got Calcifer. Love Calcifer. Oh, Spirited Away. So I've got my Spirited Away tattoo. This is one of the soot balls from Spirited Away. Love Spirited Away. And Spirited Away is probably the anime that I watched the most, especially when I was a child. And I kind of forgot about it. It was like a memory that I unlocked later on in life because I used to watch it a lot as a kid. And then it was, I think last year, it came on Netflix, and I was like, wait, I remember this. Like, I remember seeing this. I remember the girl. So I watched it, and it kind of unlocked a memory from way back when I used to absolutely love the movie, and we used to watch it all the time. So I got a soot ball because of it, and I think it's very, very cute, and I love him. And I also obviously then got Calcifer, which is from Howl's Moving Castle, another one of my favourite animes. And yeah, I just think Calcifer's really cute, so definitely wanted to get him. And I think the last one is my ghost face. Now, that's one of the most recent, like that's actually the most recent one I've got. So I love Scream, the movie, but I didn't want to just get a picture of Ghostface because I feel like that's a bit too hardcore for me. In general, I feel like I'm a little bit more fruity and like flamboyant and whatnot, so I wanted to get something a bit more campy and fun. So I basically designed this, which the initial idea was pin-up, camp, Ghostface. That's kind of what I wanted. And I think I slayed it, to be honest. He's got his knife, he's got the phone. I love the little love heart that's coming off of the phone as if he's like flirting. He's wearing a jock strap because gay. And I just love it. I think that's them all. I can't see any others. Yeah, I think that's all of them. There we go. That's my tattoo tour. Hopefully you enjoyed. Yeah. I guess let me know your favourite if you want. Or you don't want, that's fine. Yeah. But anyway, goodbye. Love yous lots.